The Midnight Caller. In the heart of East London, amidst the bustling markets and trendy coffee shops, stood an old Victorian house on Whitechapel Road. Its creaky floors and dimly lit hallways stood in stark contrast to the vibrant city life outside. The locals whispered about strange happenings in that house, but few knew the full story. Sarah, a young journalist from up north, had just moved into the townhouse, attracted by the affordable rent and lively neighbourhood. She spent her days working on articles in chic cafes and her nights unpacking, blissfully unaware of the dark history of her new home. One night, just as the clock struck midnight, her phone buzzed. Startled, she glanced at the caller ID. The number was a string of zeros. Odd, but intrigued, she answered. "Hello," she said, her voice echoing in the quiet room. At first there was only silence, then a whisper, barely audible, crept through the line. "Leave before it finds you." "Who is this?" Sarah asked, a chill running down her spine. The line went dead. She shrugged it off, thinking it was just some joker, and went to bed. The next morning, still curious about last night's happenings, she decided to ask around the town about the strange call. She stopped by a local coffee shop, The Daily Grind, where she often worked from. The barista Jake was a friendly guy in his late 20s, and he always had the latest gossip. "Hey Jake, weird question, but have you ever heard of anyone getting strange calls after about midnight around here?" she asked him as she sipped her latte. Jake's easygoing demeanour changed instantly. He leaned in, lowering his voice. "You got a call, didn't you?" "Yeah, late last night, some creepy whisper telling me to leave before it finds me." Her tone was half serious, half joking. However, Jake's face was completely serious. "That's the Midnight Caller. It's an old story around here, and people say it's a spirit warning you. And if you don't listen, well, bad things happen." Sarah was taken aback by Jake's earnestness. "Come on, Jake. It's just a prank, right?" He shook his head. "My mate Sam used to live in that house. He got the call, didn't take it seriously, and a week later, dead. In his flat, no sign of a break-in, nothing." Feeling a chill run down her spine, Sarah decided to visit someone else and ask questions. On her way home, she passed Mr. Patel's corner shop. The elderly grocer had lived in the area for decades, and he knew everything. She found him stocking shelves of beans. "Mr. Patel, can I ask you a question?" she began. "Of course, Sarah. What is it?" he replied, looking up with a warm smile. "I got this weird call last night, a number with all zeros, and a whisper telling me to leave before it finds me." Mr. Patel's face grew pale. "You answered a call after midnight?" he asked, his voice low. "Yeah, why?" "You need to leave that place, love. The Midnight Caller is a real thing. It warns you once. If you ignore it, it comes for you." "Huh!" Sarah laughed nervously, hoping to brush off the fear creeping up on her. "You really believe that?" Mr. Patel nodded solemnly. "It's a restless spirit, and it once lived in your house. It calls out to warn the living, but if you don't heed its warning, it comes to take you." As she left the shop, Sarah couldn't shake off the feeling of being watched. That night, she lay in bed, unable to sleep. At exactly midnight, her phone buzzed again. Heart pounding, she let it buzz until it stopped. The silence that followed was suffocating. The next day, she decided to visit her neighbour Lucy, a single mother with 2 young children. Maybe she knew something. Lucy invited her in, offering her tea and biscuits. "Luce, I've been hearing some strange things about my house," Sarah began, feeling a bit foolish. Lucy's face grew concerned. "You got the call, didn't you?" Sarah nodded. "Yeah, twice now." Lucy sighed. "I've heard the stories. Everyone around here has. When I first moved in, people warned me, but I never experienced anything myself. Just be careful, Sarah." Determined to get to the bottom of it, Sarah did some research at the local library. She discovered that the townhouse had once belonged to a man named Edward Grayson, who had mysteriously disappeared in the 1800s. His body was never found, and the house had changed hands numerous times since then, each owner reporting strange occurrences. That night, as Sarah was about to turn in, her phone buzzed again. This time she answered it immediately. "Who are you?" she demanded. The whisper came again, more urgent. "Leave before it finds you." "Leave me alone!" shouted Sarah, hanging up. Suddenly she heard a soft knock echoing through the house. She froze, and the knock came again, louder this time. Gathering her courage, she tiptoed downstairs. As she reached the front door, the knocking turned into relentless pounding. "Leave before it finds you," a voice whispered from behind her. Spinning around, she saw nothing but shadows. Packing her stuff, Sarah flung open the door and ran outside. Glancing back, she saw a shadowy figure standing in her doorway, its eyes glowing a sinister red. It stepped forward, and Sarah bolted to Mr. Patel's shop, banging on the door. Mr. Patel let her in, locking the door behind her. "You saw it, didn't you?" he asked. She nodded, tears streaming down her face. "What is it?" "A restless spirit," Mr. Patel explained. "It once lived in your house. It calls out to warn the living, but if you don't heed its warning, it comes to take you." The next morning, Sarah packed all of her stuff and left London. As she drove away, she glanced back at the townhouse. The figure stood in the window, watching her leave. From that day on, Sarah never answered a phone call after midnight and never spoke of what happened back there in East London. The neighbourhood kept it secret, and the midnight caller continued to haunt those who dared to answer its call.